Hey everyone, Scott Gombar Inbound Marketing, located in Meriden, Connecticut. We are your digital marketing to help small seed by obtaining new qualified clients using the internet. It's a complicated process, but I'd love to sit down and talk to you about it whenever you want, or we can do it over Skype or any other virtual method. I'm fine with that as well. My website is scottgombar.com, SCOTTGOMBAR.com. You can see that at the bottom of this page here. One of the pieces to inbound marketing is Google. That's a huge, giant piece of it. We'll call it humongous or ginormous, whatever you want to use. Part of that is the Google 3-pack, which also includes Google+. In order to show up in the Google 3-pack, you have to have a Google+ for Business page. All right, so we're going to talk about that today. I did a presentation with the Network of Executive Women Luncheon earlier in the week that I'm posting this video, so it's beginning of September now, 2015. We're going to talk about what happened to the 7-pack, what is the 3-pack, and how do I get to the 3-pack? How do I get my business on the 3-pack? So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so as most of you are probably aware if you're watching this video, especially if you're watching this video because it's going to be on YouTube, which is owned by Google. Google is a critical part of your marketing plan, and it really is. If you don't exist on Google, then you don't exist. And what do I mean by that? Let's take the example on the screen. It has I searched financial services, I believe, or financial advisors. I don't remember the exact search. When I did this search, I was in Orange, Connecticut. Sorry. You see that there are 3 listings there, all fairly close to where I was. That's the 3-pack. So it includes a map, it includes a link to their website, a link to driving directions, hours if they're available, and I thought it would include phone numbers, but I don't see the phone numbers on there. So that's the 3-pack. That will show up at the top. Oh, it says financial advisor. That's what I searched for. It will show up at the top of your Google search results above your normal organic listings, below the Google AdWords listings. So you'll see above the map, there's also a Merrill Lynch ad. To the right of it, there are also some ads. Those are the paid for placements on Google. Okay. So what happens if I don't show up in the ads, which is first, or in the 3-pack? Then now I have to scroll down almost half the page before I start seeing the organic listings. And a lot of people won't even go that far. In fact, statistics show that the number is 97 or 98% of all users of Google will not go past the first page. So if you're not on the first page and they're looking for you, then you're not going to get found. So let me put it in another term that maybe might help you understand. I'm at home, I'm in Meriden, and I want a pizza delivered. I search pizza delivery. I don't put Meriden, I don't put Connecticut, I just put in pizza delivery. Google will give me the closest pizza delivery restaurants to my location, so long as their information is on Google. If their information has not been submitted to Google via Google Plus business pages or organically, I'm not going to find it, and they're not going to get my business. This also means that you have an advantage if you are a smaller business. So using the pizza analogy, there is a really good pizza restaurant not too far from me that delivers. There's also Domino's in my area. A little further away though. So now if I search for pizza delivery and I get that mom and pop shop that I know their pizza is much better than Domino's, I'm going to order from there. Even if I don't know, I'm probably going to order from there because Domino's, well, I'll leave it at that. I'll order from there. Okay, so you can see where even a small business does have a chance on Google if things are done right. That doesn't mean you have to have a $10,000 a month ad budget for Google AdWords. It just means things have to be done right. So let's talk about what that means. All of this ties into search engine optimization. You hear it all the time, called SEO. So I have a little infographic here explain fairly process, but largely made of common sense. What I mean by common sense is if it seems like it's not the right thing to do, then it's probably not the right thing to do. So today, SEO it does involve keywords, but it doesn't mean you're going to stuff your page full of irrelevant keywords, hidden text, or things like that. That doesn't fly anymore. What it does mean is you have to have relevant content that is readable by your audience and has those keywords that's relevant to your business. It also means you should still be linking. You should have links back to your website, but not garbage links, not just spamming website after website looking to get links to your website. If it looks like you're spamming other websites to get your website linked, moved up on the number of links back to your site, that's not going to work. What will work is adding your link to relevant websites if you can, or getting a placement on a relevant website. And that includes social media websites, what a lot of SEO experts may not be aware of. If you add your website to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those social media platforms, Instagram, those are high authority websites in the eyes of Google. That will help your website move up. So if it seems like a bad idea, it's probably not. It probably is a bad idea, and if it seems to be too good to be true, then it probably is. Now, you see in the bottom right-hand corner where it says which hat, and you see black, gray, and white. You find a lot of SEO companies or SEO experts might walk that gray hat fine line, and that's dangerous because an algorithm update could send them plummeting off of Google. The black hat, definitely not the way to go. You probably won't show up in Google. White hat is the way to go. So when you hire somebody, make sure they're using ethical methods of ranking your website. Now, you probably aren't going to rank right away. There are some ways to sometimes get your site on the first page quickly, depending on the level of competition. But most likely you won't rank right away, and it will take some time. All right, do everything right, and you'll get to the first page, and you'll get some business from it. So the first piece of the Google 3-pack is you need to create a Google account. Now, a lot of us probably already have a Google account. Great, use that account, especially if it is tied to your business. If you have a Google Apps for Business account, which I highly recommend, by the way, that means you have email through Google, even though it'll have your own domain. So my email is through Google, but it's at scottgombar.com. It only costs you $5 a month per account. It's great. It looks exactly like Gmail, but more storage. Means you can work with Google Docs and so forth. Anyway, if you don't have a Google account, then you're going to want to go to google.com/mybusiness and get started. You'll have to create the account, and then it'll walk you through the process of creating a Google Plus business page. And that's the first piece of getting on the 3-pack. So this is, even without considering the 3-pack for a moment, this is a critical part of your SEO campaign because it gives more authority to your business. It recognizes that the business does exist. Your business may already be on Google Plus but hasn't been claimed yet, so it's also important to do that so nobody else does do that. But it also helps with 3-pack placement. Now, there are pieces to the Google Plus page. You will see on Google Plus that many businesses create the page and then that's it. They don't add a profile, they don't add images, they don't post to it. So we're going to get to that. But I mentioned earlier, keywords are still relevant. They are still relevant. However, you don't want to do any stuffing. Stuffing means you're just adding keywords to a page. You'll see sometimes websites that say they service and they'll list every town in that state or every town in their area. That's keyword stuffing. You'll see sometimes, or you won't see it sometimes, where they have hidden text on a website. That's keyword stuffing. Google does not like that, and you will lose your ranking for that. But you do need to create content that includes your keywords, and your keywords should be used on average 4 to 5 times per page or per blog post in order to help with ranking. And there's some other factors there, but that's another video. So first, find out what keywords work for your business. You might actually be surprised by what keywords are relevant For example, in my business, I consider myself an inbound marketer, and that's primarily because I don't do graphics design. So I don't do infographics and things like that. I do have videographers, and I do video when it's needed. However, primarily I'm focused on bringing traffic to your website. However, if you do keyword research, you'll find that digital marketing gets a lot more searches than inbound marketing does. So I focus on digital marketing as well. There's not a lot of differences, but there's little intricate differences between the two. The two tools that I would recommend, at least initially, are the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, because that will allow you to find keywords relevant to your website, keywords relevant to the industry you're in, and if you put in some keywords, then you can find out what other keywords might be relevant. Also, SpyFu, and SpyFu has free version and then a paid version. The free version, I believe, gives you 5 results. I could be wrong, but using SpyFu, you can put in a competitor's website, find out what keywords they're using, and you can also put in your industry and find out what keywords, or I'm sorry, you can check keywords, keyword phrases, and see which ones work best. Okay, I believe it's spyfu.com, but I'm not 100% sure. You can always, just Google it. It'll show up. SpyFu, SPYFU, right there on the bottom of the page. The next piece is make sure your profile is complete. So this is my Google Plus profile. I actually updated the profile cover photo just recently, but make sure it's complete. So you can see there's an About section. The About section should have a very thorough description of your business, what it is you do, and include those keywords. And even more importantly, include those keywords with bold and italicized text. That'll help. Make sure you're posting to your page on a fairly regular basis. Again, making sure that it's relevant. You can see the top of the map there. That's where the map will come up on the Google 3-pack. So postings, your hours of operation, and so forth. That actually should be the next slide, so let me check that. That's my business page. I also have a personal profile, but if you follow Google at all, you probably recognize that the Google Plus files would be going. So a profile include your contact info, and that should include an email, a phone number, and an address if applicable. And what I mean by that is if you're a service business, the address might not be applicable, might not be necessary. However, in order to show up in the 3-pack, you need an address. Hours of operation, also important. A thorough keyword-rich description. Their website, and the website should be verified. It's a quick process. It takes maybe 10 minutes at the most. So if a web designer tells you, it's going to take hours or whatever, it doesn't. It takes a few minutes. In fact, if you're already on Google Analytics or Google Webmaster Tools, which your website should be, but if they're not, if they are, then you've already verified it, and we'll verify through those. You'll just have to log in. You should be using the same account for this, by the way. If you're not, then you'll need to verify the website. You also need to verify your physical address. So Google has 2 methods to do that. They'll send you a postcard. That's option 1, and that can take 1 to 2 weeks. But if they recognize the postcard will have a PIN number on it, by the way. But if you recognize Google recognizes the phone number for the business, it will also give you the option to call the phone number, which is obviously quicker. Have a relevant profile picture and a relevant cover photo. So you saw that there was my picture, and then there was a cover photo that was designed by me for my business. Don't use the generic Google Plus cover photo. That just doesn't work. And when I talked about this earlier in the week, when I spoke about this, I asked the group of about I think there was about 20 people there. What happens when you come across a social media profile that's not completed? And the majority of them said they move on. They assume that the account is not active, and or they assume that the person who they could potentially do business with is not if they can't complete a social media profile, which doesn't take long, then what makes them think they're going to be thorough in the work that they do? So keep that in mind when you develop a social media profile. How to get in the top 3. So these are some ideas on how to get to the top 3, and these things change all the time. Some of it doesn't, but some of it does. The other thing I want to point out before I go through this list is that there are people that believe that the 3-pack at some point will tie into AdWords. Now, I have not seen any evidence of this, but there are some people in the industry that believe that. So look out for that. How to get in the top 3? Again, make sure you have a thorough description on your Google Plus page. Make sure you have reviews and ratings. This right now does weigh heavily on Google. So users or visitors to your business, people that have used your business, they tend to leave reviews when they, or maybe not tend to leave reviews, but sometimes they'll send an email with a feedback, or they'll post it on Yelp. They'll post it on Facebook. They'll LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another site where it's very common to have reviews. Try to encourage your clients to review you on Google, and then this way it helps with your search rankings. Now, Google does look at other platforms, including Yelp, to see if there's reviews there, and that will help a little bit, but not as much as one on Google. And Google usually gives you a sticker to put on the door or the window of your business so that people know to review you on Google. Complete contact info. Something else that helps with top 3 I mentioned earlier is it a local business? So if I search pizza restaurant or pizza delivery in Meriden, I'm going to get local results. I'm not going to get a pizza restaurant in New York City because it uses my IP address. Now there's ways around that. Yes, that's true. And if you're using a proxy server or something along those lines, then you're not going to get the local results. But generally speaking, you'll get results close to your location. And then activity. Make sure your account is active. Make sure you're posting to your account on a fairly regular basis and include citations. So if you're quoting someone else or using stats from someone else, make sure you give them the credit for it. Blogging. So that the post that I mentioned about posting to Google Plus. If you're blogging, then you can use this to post to Google Plus. All right. Your audience, first of all, blogging is huge. Is huge for Google search results right now, because you're adding fresh, relevant content to your site, and that's what Google wants. They want your audience, and ultimately Google wants it because your audience wants it. Your audience wants to see fresh, new content on your site. So occasionally refresh your homepage, blog fairly regularly, as often as you can. I understand. Believe me, I understand as a small business owner. It's not easy to blog all the time. I have to find the time to do these things, and that's not easy to do. But if you're blogging on a somewhat regular basis, make sure you share those to all social media platforms, but Google Plus, because if your account is active, it should help with your Google 3-pack results. YouTube, video marketing. I can't overstate this one. Video is by far the hottest type of marketing at the moment. So much so that there's some social platforms now that's their focus, such as Periscope. You've probably heard a lot about Periscope in recent weeks. I actually have a Periscope scheduled today. It's all video, live streaming video. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, right behind Google. And guess who owns YouTube? That's right, Google. Google it if you don't believe me. You should tie your Google Plus page to a YouTube channel and set it up all properly. Again, a complete profile with a nice cover photo and a profile image that actually pulls from Google Plus, and an about section, all of that, and then upload videos. It connects to the Google Plus channel, and then more people are able to see the videos that you've shared on the internet. Of course, you'll share that across other social media platforms as well. I've seen reports that say that Google will include videos again. They did for a while, but they supposedly will do it again in the near future. So we'll see if that happens. A few don'ts. Caution. Please don't do these things. Don't create multiple pages. I can't tell you how many times I run into a new client who finally realizes they need to be relevant on Google, create the Google Plus page, get on the 3-pack or the 7-pack, whatever it was at the time. And I do a little research to find out they have multiple pages, and they don't know the logins for those pages. It just becomes a nightmare. And it's not easy to get rid of those pages if you don't have control over them. This, of course, is unless you have multiple locations. Now, if you have, I believe it's 10 or more locations, Google has a different way to set that up. But if you have, let's say, 3 stores, you'll create a Google Plus page for each store. The example for this would be there is a small chain of sandwich shops up here in Connecticut called Nardelli's. I believe they have 10 locations now. So now they go with the 10 location piece. But before that, they would create a page for each location. Don't create an irrelevant profile. It's not relevant to what you do. Don't do it. Don't leave your profile incomplete. Sorry. Don't leave your profile incomplete. I mentioned that earlier, so I won't stress that again. This one should be obvious, but it's not. Don't create fake reviews. People do not want to see fake reviews. And not only that, but Google and Yelp and all of these review sites usually are keen to it and will remove them or push them down in the results. And I'll give you an example. So there is a PC repair or a computer repair store chain in Connecticut. I don't know how many locations they have now, probably around 10. They're horrible. They have these horrible reviews. Everybody I've talked to does not like them. They'll hang on to your computer for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they won't give you information. Just on and on and on. Bad reviews. And then suddenly they're getting all these positive reviews. Well, the positive reviews, it's too obvious. You have all these negative reviews, and then suddenly you have a dozen positive reviews, and all within a short period of time. Somebody spammed it and created these reviews. It's obvious, and nobody's going to really fall for it. Don't forget to verify your address on your website. Your listing doesn't even show up, I believe, until you verify your address. So just keep that in mind. So, you can't ask me questions, but there were some questions at the end. A lot about Google, but about some other things related to marketing, including Hootsuite. So I'll do a video on Hootsuite later. I already have a couple, but I'll do another one later. So, if you do have any questions, feel free to email me at scott@scottgombar.com. You can post questions on the video page, or you can on any of my social media pages. Twitter is @ScottGombar. Facebook is Scott Gombar LLC. Google Plus is Scott Gombar CMO for Chief Marketing Officer. LinkedIn is Scott Gombar. I think that's all the major ones. I could be wrong. But look for me there. Just visit my website. Everything is also there. Oh, Instagram is Scott Gombar. So hope to talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, scottgombar.com, digital marketing, Meriden, Connecticut, servicing the entire United States.